When you deny a problem, it only gets worse. Pretend it don't exist, the problem persists. I have set my heart in this to find the God and breaking all the age of curse. Before there was a white, there was a black first. At the roots of hierarchy, the goddamn church instigating prejudice, white supremacy, God's a supreme bully. God's a supreme bully, tyranny, ruling with an iron fist. God's supremacy, rape and sodomy, blood sacrifice, delusion of mind controlling religion, superstition, spiritual crime, blood sacrifice, murderer, murderer. No more secrets, no more lies. No more secrets, no more lies. No more evil deeds, no more blood sacrifice. Self-liberation, self-sovereignty. I dissolve this dream. I dissolve this dream. All that is hidden will be made known. All secrets will be revealed. No more hiding under your white and black sheets. Time to face all your evil deeds. For I self-supreme. Time for I self-supreme to destroy this dream. I demolish all that I have created. I am free from my imaginary bondage. I return to my ultimate true state. No more secrets, no more lies. No more secrets, no more lies. No more lies, no more evil deeds, no more blood sacrifice. How do you identify? Blind, following the blind. The source of every evil lurks in the mind. Ignorance of self is the worst kind. Murderer, what an atrocity, the most heinous genocide, a blatant hatred of the eye. God is your devil in disguise. Awake from the dream, remove the veil from your eyes. Behind the ego, the truth of life. I am one with all is I. No more secrets, no more lies. No more secrets, no more lies. No more evil deeds, no more blood sacrifice. All souls are free. Self-liberation, self-sovereignty. I dissolve this dream. I dissolve this dream. Yes, I. Hail, hail to all the ionites. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to this satsang with I Auset. Thank you for joining. Much honor. I forgot the mallet for the singing bowls. Yes. Welcome, welcome to this satsang with I Auset. Today I'm going to be talking about the law of self to make it very simple and very clear. All right, so I alone exist, all is myself. This is the gathering to seek truth. Because we have been looped into our mind, into the consciousness, into the duality, into the dream, into the illusions, and all the delusions that rises from the mind, from the consciousness. And so we do not know truth. And this is why this is a gathering to seek truth. So it is not just truth for the ionized in the human body avatar, but it's also for all the ionized not wearing the human body, known as the infamous gods, the infamous deities. They also do not know truth. They do not know. Because remember that what? All is I self. All is I self. I and I is exploring into all of these forms, in all the existence. Everything is all the I and I. I alone exist. All is I. In every form, it is I taking form. So in evil human beings, it is I taking form as the ego, right? Remember that behind every ego, there is a real self that is sleeping in trance in the dream and do not know the self. This is why we are doing this gathering, so that the I can always seek truth from someone who is illuminated. You are someone who has turned their light on and see things as they are. So no more secrets, no more lies. It is time for justice, balance, order, and truth. For too long, we have been led and guided by propagandas and lies, and we have been bullied and have a lot of fear. So we have been fear has been pushed onto us. I struggle with words. Okay, I struggle with words to articulate. Because this this consciousness that I am wearing, I it's not working for I. It is fighting against I. So if we can come to this knowing, but even if you haven't come to the knowing yet, but you can come to the realization, because you can realize that who has been your enemy, even when you were a small human being, right? A small human being, you realize that your mind was telling you some things that was not true. It would tell you to do things that was not right and harmony with your family, with what your parents tell you, or maybe wherever it is that was parenting over you, and maybe the order of the rules that society has made, and not many ones following the rules. So we're not following the law of ourself, our real true self. And so I want to go a little bit more in depth with that. So I want to say welcome again to this satsang with I, Auset Aten. I am primal light, prepared for this dream duality existence in this fractal shattered. You see, like one of these tiny particles right here of light. This is each and every one of us is get one of these tiny particles of light that becomes your star, that becomes your light. But if you are sleeping, then your light get turned off and you're not illuminated. But myself, I am awake, so my star is illuminating. As above, so below. We are manifesting in the human body, but we are also above. And how are we represented above? By either a star or a moon or a planet. So once you become illuminated, your star shines. All right, know that the I self, the real, that is called the soul, is always illuminated. So it is the star that you see illuminating. It is yourself, the soul. But many ones are not dwelling in the awareness and in the knowing of the soul. They are in the ego, the false selves. All right, and so let's return to the law of self, that I one true pure self. So no more secrets, no more lies. No more secrets, no more lies. All things hidden will be made known. I'm gonna say these things twice because I want you to pay attention. All the things that they have hidden from us will be made known. All things done in secret will be revealed. All things created must be destroyed. This is the age of truth, and it's time for self-responsible authority. It is time for you to be responsible for yourself. You do not need anyone to be policing you. It is time for you to take self-responsibility and do what it is that you must do for yourself. Because we are moving to light bodies. We are moving to self-sufficiency. And it is time that all the ionized in this fractal self come into truth and see things as they are. Resist temptations and be vigilant. I'm going to say this again. Resist temptations and be vigilant. No fear. They have programmed us into fear, and now we must no longer stand into this negative vibe of fear. Self triumphant over ego. Good triumphant over evil. This is where we are moving right now. For order, for justice, for truth must reign supreme. Self must reign supreme, not this ego. Says that I want true pure self. Thank you again for joining I. All right, I am going to give honor and reverence so that I want true pure self. I am just gonna get up to go get the sticks for the because I forgot to get the mallets for the bowl. So just give me a second. Okie dokie. All right. I'm sorry about me not being prepared. Yes. So it is time for truth. I'll put the bowl here. Hail to the I want true pure self, unmanifest, I alone exist. Primal light. Primal light. I self supreme. I am that I am. I want true pure self. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. All is myself. I am one. all. I alone exist. I exist alone. Say I was never born, so I can never die. I am that I am. I am formless. I am timeless. I am limitless. I am boundless. I am that I am. I want true, pure self. Unmanifest. I alone exist. Yes, yes, I, much honor, much reverence. All is the I, primal light self, playing all the different roles in this dream existence, this life movie. I dissolve this dream and I return to I, ultimate true state. Victory, victory. I am victorious. I am triumphant. And so, let's look at this law of self. Hail, hail to the I, Witch Master General. Thank you for the greetings. Greetings to the I and I. So, the law of I, one true self. We are not existing under the law of the I, one true self. And because we are all existing into the ego false self, the mind, the consciousness, the duality consciousness of the world, just a reminder that the moon is the consciousness of the world, that we are inside of the mind of the I self playing this existence and is known as Ra. All right, there's different stages of when she's in her real self and when she is in the ego false selves. Whenever the moon obscure her, yeah. So I just want all the INIs to remember this, all right? All beings suffer from delusions of mind because of this moon, right? The moon is impure. It corrupts the beings. Anyone that wears this consciousness get corrupted. The mind puts the I and I into sleep, and the mind tells you to create war and strife. It tells you negative things. It tells you you're not good enough. this is why many of the ionized, we don't know ourselves, we don't have self-confidence, because our mind has been telling us things, been programming us, telling us lies. Who is the mind telling this to? To you, the real self. Remember, you are the self, but you are wearing this mind device. This device, it is not you, because it's in a sleeping, dreaming state. It is in a false state. The I is wearing this device. It has been programming the self. It trance you, the self, in the dream. And so your mind tells you lies, and it makes up stories, and you get looped into the stories that do not exist. Everything this mind is imagining does not exist. It's all in an imagination, right? And so you are constantly looping your imagination. Some human beings who have violated the laws of societies are imprisoned, while others get impunity. You see this in the world, that it is not fair, because we are not following the law of the one true pure self. So the laws that govern our world, that's created by the society, some can commit all kinds of crime, which they have been doing, raping, prostituting children, and then blood sacrificing them. They claim impunity, that they do not get punishment from these crimes, but they are the same one. If any other person in the society does something against the law of the society, they come to imprison you, right? Take away your human rights, right? You have many prisoners, and you have many evil human beings, right? These evil human beings, they teach their skills to the up and coming little human beings, because I watch this in the schools. You see, all the little human beings are following the adults. They're emulating these practices, all right? And so this evil circle continues. This is a failed human experiment. If we establish that all our problems stem from the delusions of our mind, then we can with confidence solve our problems as human beings. Can we not? Why our problem seems astronomical, and many are hooked on drugs, alcohol, many commit suicides, and lots of other things, doing all different kind of crime. Why many do evil things? We must return to the law of the I, one true pure self. So everything that we do must be in balance, must be in harmony to the I, one true pure self. We have gone so far away from the I, one true pure self. We have been immersed into the ego, and everything that we do is for the ego. This ego, we are just fulfilling all the desires of this ego, and the crazy fetish, what do you call it, fetishes, those I can't find the word, those crazy things that arise from one's mind, and one wants to fulfill these crazy ideas that comes into one mind. And so the desires of the mind will never be fulfilled, because as soon as you fulfill this desire, it comes pop up with another desire to be fulfilled. And this is the problem, that we are caught into this endless cycle with this ego. All right? This is the problem that we are having. So this is the reason why we now have to move to the law of the I, one true pure self, because the mind that we are using is corrupted, and we have been dwelling into the mind for too long now. We do not know ourselves, because the mind has confused us. All right. So human beings don't see all as themselves. This is a major problem. So for the I and I affirmation for all of this week, you must be saying, all is myself, I am all, and I alone exist. You have to say this until it is ingrained within the I, and so the I, false self, the ego, can come to this realization. What do you mean when you say I alone exist? It means that everything that you see, all of the existence, everyone that you see, it is you. But all yourself do not see you as one, because they are wearing the mask of the ego, right? The I and I is wearing the mask of the ego, because you know when you have on a mask, you don't look similar. So we are in the mask of the ego, because remember that the consciousness is creating everything that we see, including this body, right? Because when Ra is awake, she can create balanced things, right? Because she is wearing this consciousness, right? But when she goes to sleep, she creates chaos. She's playing all of these roles, just like you. You have a self called a soul. It is the balanced self. Now you are in the human body, animating it by the baby of the soul that is called the spirit, that is doing a lot of crazy things, because you do not even recognize that your real self is the soul. You think it's something you have that you need to put into bondage and slavery, because what your mind and some god told you, or someone else programmed to your mind that you need to give it to some god. You see how crazy that is? You can't even trust your own mind. How are you going to follow someone else's crazy mind, delusional mind? All right? So this is the problem. We have to say this. All is myself. I am all. I alone exist. Human beings are too absorbed in their imaginations and think their imagination is real. You see many ones in the world, they're doing a lot of crazy things, right? And they are thinking that they actually are dragging you into their imagination and want you to follow their crazy and stupid imagination. I must realize that I am not this human being, but only playing a role in a movie called life, right? So this is when I need to make this other affirmation this week. I am not this body. I am not this mind. Now say it with me. I am not this body. I am not this mind. All right? So this affirmation is so powerful, because it is going to make the self realize. Because remember, the self is sleeping. You, the self, is sleeping. And you are in the ego false self, and you're thinking that the ego, the mind, is yourself, because you're entrancing it, and the mind is trancing you in the sleep, and it's entertaining you. If you sit like this, and the mind will start showing you all kind of things. That's why many people, they like to go into realms and all of these things. You're just engaging in the mind and in all the duality. But if you do stillness, you now can still your imagination, still your mind, and you can rise yourself, wake up yourself, because you are going to get the mind engaged to go looking for itself, because the self is being obscure behind the mind. So it's like, all right, say it's like this is here. You have the self in front, the mind that is being in front, the self is hiding in the back, right? And you don't want that. You want yourself to be in front, and you want void between you and your mind. You don't want to be sleeping behind your mind, and the mind is and you are in that ego, into the false self, and don't know your real self, your one true pure self. All right. Human beings suffer. Human beings suffer from false self-identity and suffer mind sickness. So you should be asking, who am I really? All right. I am not the body. I know I'm not the body. I know I am not the mind. But who am I really? Right. So some say God. Some call in some duality character, some dream character name, different ones. You don't want to make any assumptions. You want yourself to rise within you and answer your questions, because you do not know, and you have a real self that knows. That real self is called your soul self, right? And so you want to ask because you want yourself to answer you. I know it might seem simple and say, oh, I know myself already, so I don't need to ask. But I am telling you that it is through you asking the question that yourself is going to answer you. So it's important that you still ask the question, who am I? How did I come into being? What is the source of my existence, allowing me this world experience? You want to ask so that yourself is going to rise up, because the self, your real self, is have a destiny to rise up when you ask this question and to pull the ego off of you. But it won't do it if you don't ask. But eventually, the I self is going to do this, because we are moving to dissolution of this world. So it is going to happen anyways, but it would be nice if you do it yourself so that you can know truth and you can come into all these knowing and realizations. All right, human beings believe the lies and propaganda spread by the mind is true. All right. From where does these thoughts arise? You want to be asking this question. Even when someone tells you something, you want to ask them, from where did that thought arise? How do you know this? Right? Even I am telling you this, but I am also telling you to ask these questions of yourselves. All right? Human beings don't see value in other human beings. They only see value in money. This is a major problem, because we can't come together because one is stressing in this life over money. Oh, I need money to do this, I need money to do that, I need money, 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 money. But there's a lot of value in other human beings, because together we can create the kind of environment that is conducive to us, knowing ourselves and doing these practices. We can create that kind of environment, and we don't really need money. All right. So human beings hold false beliefs and ideologies that promote superiority and crazy mind syndromes. Because as you see, one group of human beings, they're going around saying that they are the chosen ones, and they want to be the supreme ruler of the world. And so all they have been doing is making chaos throughout the world. And not only are they making chaos, they have been raping and sodomizing and doing a lot of blood sacrifices to their evil self, that is known as the infamous devil. Because remember, again, all is I self. All, even the evilest of characters, even all the demons, even all the monsters, it is who? It is I. All these demons, all these monsters are I. This is why, I'm going to explain in a few slides after. This is why it is my role to dissolve all of my monsters, all of my demons, that has been terrorizing me and been holding I in slavery. Right? So you must recognize this, that all of these things is yourself, and you have the power to dissolve them. They rise from you, you can dissolve them. All right? So take back your power. And so we have these selves of ours who are believing these ideologies because their mind is crazy and their mind is sick. You see what they're doing. You see they're sick and crazy, and they want to drag everybody into their craziness. And so they have been promoting that they are superior beings over, just like the gods them, they were promoting that they are superior to us and we need to worship and bow to them. All right? No. This is all lies, propagandas, only because they want to keep us in slavery. They don't want for order. They don't want justice. They don't want truth. They are fighting a war against the I self. They're fighting a war against truth. So it's all the evil aspect of the I self is fighting against. So who are you fighting against? Your ego. The first battle that each and every one of us must win is the battle with our own ego, our mind. And so if we all turn our attention inwards, turn our attention to our problem, which is the mind, then this is how we are going to move to balance. We're going to move to harmony, and justice will be served. Order will be restored back to the world, restored back to the I self. All right? Human beings, because they have all of these false ideologies and promoting all of these superior propaganda, human beings don't realize that their mind is sick, wayward, and impure. Therefore, they want to act out their sick fantasies, and they don't know how to cultivate and still their mind. All right? So we have to move to the law of the I want you pure self because of all of this. We have to get out of this ego, get out of our imagination, constantly be saying all is myself and I alone exist. You don't need to be having a war with yourself, all those supreme ego characters. All right? Human beings are greedy and very egotistical. This is why the world is so unfair, that they take all the resources given to us by our mother nature, and they want to own everything only for themselves, while their other selves live in deprivation and deplorable conditions. This is the sickness of this mind. Everyone is in the ego, false self. Look at the problems of the world, all right, and see, no matter which kind of government you choose, they are if they don't come to this realization that our problem stems from this mind, it is still going to fall back into creating some other laws to restrict human beings, because the ones who saying that they are the superior to all, and they are promoting, they want to be the supreme ruler of the world. We have two conflicts, really. We have Israel, and we have Islam. When they we had the Christianity that once was fighting to be the supreme ruler, but they have calmed down, and now we have only these two fights that's happening right now. So because they are both fighting for world power, and they are piggybacking off of each other. They want to be supreme ruler of the world so that they can turn everyone into their religion and restrict more freedoms from everyone. All right, and so to make us into to enslave our souls to their gods and all of these craziness, and they want us all to follow the craziness of their mind, so we cannot be sovereign. All right, and so right now they are not just fighting this physical war, but they are also fighting a war against the self, and also this is a war of the gods. This is going on right now. All right, this is a major spiritual battle, so you must be vigilant. All right, all right. So we know that human beings are sick in the mind. And so this is the reason why we have to move to the law of the I want true pure self. All right. I want I and I to remember that in this life movie, that all the characters are only a figment of the I imagination. Everything stems from this mind. Remember that the moon is the mind of the world. It is the first God. Everyone who's worshiping God is really worshiping the moon. And the infamous devil called, which is Set, because Set is the masculine to the world. Remember, all is the I self. But all of these different characters, you want to lose attachment to them. All right, because this is all an aspect of the dream, and it's all an imagination. So remember, this is all the false self. We have been tricked for ages. We have been tricked, and it's time now, when we are fighting for our liberation, for our sovereignty. All right, human beings are not real. Say this with me. Human beings are not real. They are characters in a dream. Human beings are characters in a dream. The gods are not real. They are characters in a real. They are characters in a dream. Why are they characters in a dream? Because all of this is happening is a dream. We are inside of the mind of them. We are inside the mind of Ra, the moon. You see, we are encased here. We cannot get out. We are inside of her body. All right? And so we, the self, the fractal, fragmented self, all right, she is playing the role of our surrogate mother. And we are in here, and in these avatars, these body avatars, all right? Not real. We see these humans come and go, don't we? And we see the body goes in the ground, right? This is when you're a human being. And then after you exit the body, you're no longer in the human being form, right? So you go back to that God form, wherein that you are not in the human form. So you're moving from these two phases. All right. So let's say this together. Liberation from our slavery and tyranny. Why do we have to say this? Because we have been enslaved inside of a dream. We've been ruled under tyranny and bullying by God. God plant fear in us, and if you don't do what God says, God punish you. It's not, it's in all their books, right? This is the truth. All right, we've been ruled by human ego characters, lies and propaganda they spread, and if you don't follow what they say, they also punish you. This is how this world is run. Now we are going to be moving to self-sufficiency. We're moving to sovereignty, to be a self-sufficient being. So you don't need anything outside of yourself, because you're going to be providing for everything that you already need. Do you need someone to police you? You don't know how to be? You don't know how to be a honorable, self-knowing human being? Yes, you can animate this body, but you can also Move now into self-knowing, to know yourself. I know, oh, I know myself, but I am animating this body, and you can live, in balance and in harmony to the I want true pure self. All right. So this is the reason why that I want to say this, right? Liberation from all slavery, because we are in slavery here. We are encased and trapped here into the mind of Ra. We're trapped here by this mind. This consciousness has enslaved us here. The moon has enslaved us here. And so you have to let this moon know, this consciousness, duality consciousness, know that you are claiming your liberation. You're not asking, you are claiming it. All right? Liberation from all slavery and tyranny. Liberation from self-slavery, from soul slavery. I stand against all bullies. Liberation from all spells, curse, and trance. Because this mind, the consciousness, the moon, has put you under spell, and the gods them put us under curse and trance. This they have been doing and still doing. But you have to keep saying this to keep breaking those spells, breaking those curse, breaking those trance. Liberation from self-ignorance. Liberation from all mind control. Liberation from this duality, from false self-identity. Because all the INIs are identifying as all kind of things which you are not. All right? And then you are worshiping gods with all kinds of names. Jesus, Allah, Krishna, Elohim, Yah, all of these characters with name. Do not worship no character. Say it again with me. All is myself, and I alone exist. If it's just you existing, do you need to be worshiping yourself? No, you need to come to self-knowing. Liberation from all sleeping and dreaming state. This is what you need to do. You're sleeping and dreaming. Well, you're sleeping and your mind is dreaming. And so you have to wake up from this state. Liberation from the bondage of my imagination. Because you're in bondage to the imagination. And you have to get out of your imagination. Don't engage in it. Be still. Mind, be still. Mind, be still. And know that I am in command. I am in command of my mind. I am in command of the commandment, command. And as I have commanded, so let it be, so it is. Victory, victory. All right, this is very, very important. All right, the law of self. So like I was saying in the beginning of the talk, that Auset Aten Ra, which this tells you my lineage of how I rise. So once you become self-knowing, you get to know your lineage of how you rise from, what self you rise from. All the souls, they rise from Aten Ra, right? But Ra is our surrogate mother because we are inside of her body. We have some other cells that rise from all the different cells that rise from Aten Ra. So there's a different lineage of how they will return. So myself will return back straight to Aten Ra because I am her baby self. And so say if you are the baby self of say Saturn, then you are going to return back to Saturn. That's who you're going to align with. And then Saturn is going to return back to Aten Ra. So it's a lineage of how we rise. And once you get to know yourself, you get to see how you rise. That's just your lineage. But remember that all is the I self. So you don't need to worry about this. But once you get to know yourself, you get to know how you rise and all of these things. So you know your lineage of how you become this fractal self. You, the I is a fractal, fragmented self, primal light. Remember that we are primal light, and we are into this body, and the body is also producing light. But when we move from this body to the light body, we are just going to be producing the light that we need. So we're not we're going to be moving from a body that needs food. Remember, we eat food, right, to produce energy, light, and then this is how we sustain ourselves. But we are going to be moving from this kind of body awareness. All right. So men, it's time to step aside and allow the I, the feminine, to restore balance and order. Because the masculine aspect of the I self has been fighting a war against the I for such a long time. And they're still now holding many females in slavery all over the world. They are doing this, where female, you cannot speak your mind. They beat, they abuse females, they abuse children. And so it is time now for this, for men ruling us, to that this time is coming to an end, and we must demand it, that we want to be self-governing, and we want community self-sufficiency. We don't want anyone to govern over us, because we are capable of governing ourselves, because we are living by the law of the I, the one true pure self. So I am the self, I am the truth, I am the primal light. All is myself, and I alone exist. This is very important. All right. So I live by the law of self. I live and abide by the law of the I want true pure self. We want to make these announcements to ourselves, so that this ego can know, so that the human beings in the world who are policing others can know this. This is how we are moving, that we do not want to be policed by government. We don't need anyone to govern over us. We can govern over ourselves, and we can live by this law. And so this is how I am calling for the world to move, so we can have this, where we can, whenever one come to us, we can recite this. I live by the law of the I want true pure self. I know that all is myself. I know that I alone exist. Everyone and all of the existence is myself. I live in balance and harmony with all of myself. I know, or if you don't know and you just realize, then you can say that. But I know, so I say, I know that I am a fractal primal light self, wearing a sleeping, dreaming consciousness device called the mind. I know that I am a participant in my dream creation, taking on a human avatar form. I know that I am formless, timeless, limitless, boundless, deathless. I know that I am a visitor here inside the mind of the I self, playing the role of Ra, the sun, that illuminates the dream creation world. Know that this world is the dark matter. We are inside the dark matter. So she only illuminates it, so we have light. And what do we call that? We call that day. Otherwise, we will be in the dark. All right. So she illuminates this dark matter, so we can have light to be in this world, to have this human experience. Therefore, this world is temporary. All of my other fractal selves do not know me as themselves, because of the delusions of the consciousness, the ego state, all that I and I is in. All right. I know that this world will be dissolved soon, and I will return home to the I want you pure self. Therefore, I will live in honor to the I want you pure self. I take only what I need. I live in equanimity, balance, and harmony with I want you pure self until that time, until this dream world is dissolved to be no more. All is myself and I alone exist. All right. And so if you are living like this, you are living with self-awareness, self-knowing. So you're not living with greed in the ego. You're not going to be engaged, which is going to go to the next slide, which we'll talk about that now. So you're going to make this vow, daily affirmation to yourself. This is very important to say this, because otherwise the ego will just get the I just engage into doing into temptations. And now is the time when we have to resist temptations. We have the ego will say, oh, I'll give you all the world, I'll give you all these things. Remember those temptations, those are real. Those things really happen. And so it's happening for you also. Someone will come and say, hey, here's all this money, do this, something, and for money, because they've been using money to tempt ones. So resist temptations, and let's come together as like self in the law of self, so that we can help each other, to live with this self knowing and self awareness. So this is the affirmation that I want to say. I am self supreme in this shattered, fragmented self, animating a body. All is myself, I am all. I am using the duality mind to participate in my dream creation as a character in the dream. Therefore, I am vigilant against my mind, because why? It is impure and sick. We know that, right? Have you come to that realization? You see how this mind is? It is impure and it is sick, right? I practice daily stillness to bring purity and light to my mind. I am in command. Mind, be still. I am that I am. I am primal light. I am the one true pure self, and I alone exist. All right, this is so important. I realize I am inside a dream created by my mind. Say this with me, because we have to realize this, then you have to come to the knowing of it. I realize I am inside a dream created by my mind. Therefore, I watch my thoughts, I watch my words, I watch my actions. I think pure and righteous thoughts. I speak healing words. My actions are in harmony with I, self-supreme, unmanifest, one true pure self. Because why I say self-supreme is that, remember that we are in the fractal self. We are a tiny particle of the self. Look how powerful we are, just a tiny particle. And our self-supreme is massive. It's all of existence that does not have no beginning, no end. Right? All is the I self. All right. But here we are in this fractal self. All right. So we are recognizing all the aspects of the I self, playing all of the roles. All right. For this dream, this duality existence to happen, the self is playing, the I self is playing all of these roles. All right. I am harmony. I realize all is myself in myriads of form. Right? I am one with all. I am all is I, and I alone exist. I am trustworthy and reliable. I am wise and caring. I believe and trust myself truth, because this mind, this ego will come to you tomorrow and try to make you doubt yourself. I live in harmony with all myself and all of nature. I build and uplift my community. I eat healthy and balanced food. I participate and cultivate a community garden or farm. All right. I express myself in healthy self expressions, right? Because there's so many unhealthy things that so many of the INIs are engaged in. Drugs, drinking, eating things that is impure for the body. Remember, this body is a temple, for the I self to dwell. All right. I practice self-preservation and not self-destruction. I keep my body temple pure and sacred. I do not consume alcohol, drugs, or any mind euphoric substance. I liberate myself from self-ignorance and false self-identity. I take care of my family cells, all the ones that comes in your family, because someone think, because if they're on this journey, then they should just abandon their families. You have to fulfill your duties for the ones that you have to fulfill your duties for. I respect and honor all the INIs. All right. I practice daily stillness and self-inquiry so I can come to self-realization and arise the I, teacher, guru self, to pull this ego off of the I, so I can awake from the sleeping, dreaming state. This is why you practice stillness and self-inquiry. It is very, very important. I am awake, alert, attentive, and aware. I am that I am. I know who I am, and I alone exist. I realize God, Jesus, Allah, Krishna, all the gods, the deities, the ancestors, the angels, is myself, right? As a different character inside of this dream world. Therefore, I do not need to seek or serve any gods. Do you need to seek or serve gods? No. You have to realize that this is all you playing those characters, and they do not know you as themselves, because they are going about claiming superiority over their other selves. The gods are doing this, and they have this caste system, myself in ignorance. They are also wearing this impure sick mind. All of those gods are. All is I am devoted to my liberation from this duality, sleeping, dreaming mind. So, the first battle that the I must win is this battle against the mind, because your mind has been holding you, the self, in prison. And here the mind has created this ego false self. You must liberate yourself from this mind so that you can be free. I dissolve this ego, false self, and return to my ultimate true state. You must say this so you can dwell like I in the body, not in the ego false self, but in the self called the soul. So you don't have a soul, but you are that self, the soul. Because now once you wake up, You're no longer going to be in the ego false self. Now you're going to be yourself, the soul. All right? This is how you want to be now in the body. I dissolve this ego and this dream. I am in command. As I have commanded, so let it be. So it is. Victory, victory. Now after that I say this affirmation, you want to do some vibration. So you do, right? You want to do some hum, so hum. I know who I am. I know who I am. I am confident. I am confident. I believe in myself. I believe in myself. I know who I am. I've been there and I have already done that. I have been there and I have already done that. I know who I am. I am one with all. All is myself, and I alone exist. All is myself, and I alone exist. I am that has no name. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. I am that can't be explained. I am self-supreme, primal lights. One true, pure self. I am the unmanifest. I am deathless. I am formless. I am timeless. I am boundless. I am limitless. Yes, I remember that the mind is thoughts, memory, imagination, and very habitual. So be mindful of the habits that you are forming. All right? Remember that this consciousness is the supreme ego. It is in the supreme ego sleeping and dreaming state. All right? And is holding the I as a prisoner inside of its dream. Remember that this is the dream of consciousness. We must remember this. So I know many ones, the consciousness as strict ones. Christ consciousness is the same moon. That's strict ones, and many ones are calling to Christ consciousness. All right, to this duality, sleeping, dreaming mind. It is a trickster. Be vigilant. Why must I practice mind stillness? Because the mind is a tainted baby consciousness. The mind is tainted with impurities, memory replay, sick imagination, and it is prone to mental sickness and destructive ideologies that instigate cruel actions. This is the reason why we want to stay anchored into the I One True Pure Self. We want to be living by the laws of the I One True Pure Self and not this ego. Mind is very deceptive and does not know the truth about the self. Remember that every evil begins in the mind before it is acted out in the world. This is why we have to meet our problems at the mind. So if we are doing daily stillness, we're going to see what this mind is cooking up and we're going to shut it down. Before we engage in this imagination when it is telling us things, we are going to shut it down. Because we know the root of our problem, that we are wearing this device that we put over our eyes that blinds us so we can't see. All right? And so we have to be vigilant. Stillness purifies my mind. Stillness arises, the supreme teacher within, to pull this ego off of the I, the baby self, called a spirit. Stillness is very important, right? So it is time to take off this ego mask that the I and I is wearing and see this world is not real, but only a dream. All right. Yes. Which Master General? I'm looking at your question. The mind create the races. Exactly. All right. So take off the mask. It is just a movie, a game. Remove the ego's mask to attain self-truth and liberation, because it is only when you remove this ego off of yourself that you are going to wake up. Right? Remove the ego to restore your light. All right? This is how you become illuminated. It is a challenging task. It is real simple. Simple steps one to do. The challenge is that the mind confuses one, and it will tell you, no, don't give me up. You have to stand up to your mind and say, I no longer want to exist as this ego false self. I want to return to my one true pure self. I want to be myself. All right? You are still going to be experiencing yourself while you are in this body. So don't let this ego trick you, right? You're still going to be here in the body experiencing yourself until it is time that you leave with awareness. You can now leave out of this body with awareness and no truth. Don't you want that? I do. Stillness. So why should I practice stillness? To still my mind so that I can listen to my intelligent self. Because you see, this mind is telling us a lot of false things. It gets us engaged in desires, in the things of the dream. All right, we get engaged in our habits. We want to fulfill all the desires, and we forget that we are just a visitor in the dream, and it is time for us to prepare ourselves to leave out of this dream, to leave out of this mind. We have entered into the mind, we have entered into the mind of Ra, and we have to leave out of here. This is not our true nature. This is in a dream. We're inside of a dream. All right? Why stillness? To purify and bring my mind to balance and harmony. All right? So that the mind can know that it has imprisoned itself. The mind has imprisoned itself. The self doesn't know this. All right? And the mind thinks that it is the real self, so that your mind can know that it is not a self. This mind thinks that it is a self, because I have had ones like arguing with me that it is the self that it is impure, and the mind that is the real. The self is the dream and the mind is the real. This mind has confused everyone. And so I say this, your mind is confusing you. It is the mind that is impure, and it is the mind has been telling the self for ages that the self is a dream and not the real. This mind is trickster. So you have to be vigilant with this mind. I'm telling you, this mind it is constantly thinking up new ways to deceive the self and to keep you entranced and trapped in the dream. I am telling you. So if you practicing stillness, you're going to come into more awareness of how this mind is tricking you. Right? This mind, the consciousness, is merely in the sleeping, dreaming state. And it's all in imagination. This is all an imagination. But what is wrong with this imagination? Because the real self, the soul, has entered into the imagination. It's like you build a playhouse. Say you built an imagination playhouse, and you are playing in the playhouse. You enter inside of it and playing, and all the characters that you made have risen up now, and they're enjoying the play that you are doing, and they don't want it to end. This is the problem with the mind. It is enjoying the play, enjoying the movie, and don't want the self to get out of the imagination. So the mind can know that it is just a mind and needs to be illuminated, that it is in a sleeping, dreaming state. The mind does not know this, that all these things is only arising from its imagination. All right, this is very important. So this is a stillness technique when the eye is doing the eye meditation, right? So that you are doing the thought stopping, right? So you're going to ask, when the thought arises, from where does this thought arise? When you're doing your stillness meditation, when the because thoughts are always going to arise until you learn to master stillness. Then you ask, from where does this thought arise? Don't engage into the imagination, because it's going to want to show you imagery and put you into realms and start telling you things. No, you are going to do thought popping. So you're gonna start pop the thoughts. And after you look at it, you're just looking at the thoughts when it arises, and you're gonna say, from where does this thought arise? And you're just gonna be popping it, pop, 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 because you're bringing your self-awareness to it. Because this is also how the self is going to wake up, and this mind is going to go looking for itself. And you say, I am awake, I am alert, I am attentive and aware. I am in stillness without thoughts. I am void, unmanifest self. All right. So you practice this thought popping technique. All right. So you are popping those thoughts as if you are popping bubbles, right? You ever blow bubbles and you know, and just be trying to pop those bubbles? You want to do this. All right. A very good vibration that's good for the stillness is, you know, also hum. So you go awesome. So go ahead and do this with me. Let's go. Let's do it 4 times. Awesome. And while you are doing this awesome hum, spiral the vibration around your body. All right, spiral the vibration around your body. Awesome. Awesome. And another very good technique is to get the vibration resonating inside of the body while you close your eyes and your ears. So we can do this like 4 times. We'll say ahum vibration, and then we're gonna close our ears and our eyes and just focus the vibration in the body. So you go with the tongue to the roof of your mouth, and spiral the vibration around your body. So now let's close our eyes and our ears, and let's do this 4 times. But when you are doing your stillness, you can do it as long as you want. So if you really get into stillness, you will probably be doing this meditation for hours and lose track of time that you know. This is what you want to do. All right, so let's go. Ears closed, eyes closed, and we're gonna do ahum. Yes. So were you able? Let me know in the comments if you were able to feel the vibration in the body, and did you feel your mind going into stillness? You want to do stillness until the void rises up and there's complete silence in your ears, in both of your ears, and goes rise up to the head, because the void self will rise up and rise up into the head. So you want to do this until that happens for you. All right, so we just remember to practice these vibrations daily. I know that these vibrations, all the I that came before us left these vibrations, because these vibrations, when you come into illumination, these are the vibrations of the selves. And so what it helps to do is to break up the magnetic energy that is encased around the self, the sleeping self, and around the body. All right, because remember that we are in the magnetic energy, right? Remember, we are in the dark matter. All right, if you want to understand this better, you can see this when night falls. All right, it's really just raw um, um, rotating and going over the below the horizon of how the earth is situated, because it is her sun that illuminates the dark matter, and we are already in the dark matter, and our self is encased inside of it like a cocoon. And so the vibrations help to break up that magnetic energy, so you can have more electric self. All right, because we know we are electromagnetic beings. All right, in this fractal self. All right, so are you ready to return to the I ultimate true state? All right, I am formless, timeless, boundless, limitless. I am that has no name. I am that can be explained. Are you ready? Because remember, don't attach to any of these characters, these God characters, Jesus, Allah, Krishna, Yah, Elohim, any whatever names they go by. All right, because this is all yourself in the supreme ego state. Okay, just align with the I one true self. Be yourself, call the soul. All right, from that which I rise to that I return. I am all. I am the black energy. This mind has created a prejudice against the blackness. Don't listen to this mind, because this is from where you rise. This existence, this blackness, the I is this blackness. If you see that all of the blackness is the I self, you have never seen yourself animating this body. Every self that animates the body is the blackness. All right, the mind can show you those white characters, but only the real selves are black. In the human body forms, you have the real self animating both all the bodies. Whether you in a white body, brown body, or black body, the real selves are animating those different bodies. So you have ego false self in all of these bodies also. All right. So know this: all the ego false self, they rise from you and they must be returned back onto you. So from that which you rise, you will return, and that which rise from you will return back on you. I want you to always say that. All that arise from you must return back to you. What belongs to you must return back onto you. All right, and dissolve all your ego false self and make them return back to you. This is how you dissolve them. When they return back to you, like for myself, I was in that baby self that we call the spirit. All right, and I dissolved that self, and that self no longer exists. Only this self called the soul. All right, From that which I rise, to that I return. I am the blackness. All is I am all. Right? I alone exist. All right? I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. You want to be saying this so that you can bring this truth to this mind. This mind is in ignorance. All right? So I want to thank you tremendously for your time. Thank you for joining all right? I am one with all. I want you to be aware that the mind will want to resist, protest, and convince you of all the reason for you not to do this. All right, not for you to dissolve this ego, not for you to practice your meditations, stillness. Don't want to go into REMs and do all of these other things. This is you're just engaging in your imagination and into your duality state. You don't want that. You want stillness to this mind, because it is only in the stillness that yourself is going to rise up to pull this ego off of you. This must be done. Don't you want to experience it? Don't you want to experience this when yourself rise up and pull this ego off of you, and you can know? Now you are gonna in the knowing stage. You are gonna know this for yourself. You can hear me speak about it, but no, you're gonna know, because what? You are going to have the experience for yourself. All right, so know that you are in command. Reinforce to the mind this affirmation: mind, be still, be still, be still. Be still and know that I am in command. I am in command of the commandment, command. Mind, be still. I dissolve this dream. As I have commanded, so let it be, so it is. I am stillness. I am that I am. I am formless, timeless, limitless, boundless. I am stabilized in the unmanifest, right? Remember that the I, the one true self, is unmanifest. We are manifested in this fractal state, and many of the aspect of the I self is unmanifest. That's why it is that blackness. All right, I am the self supreme primal light. Remember that you are light. Do not want to stay in darkness, right? Turn your light on. All right, I am one with all. All is myself, and I alone exist. Make this be your affirmation this week. I am that has no name. Don't get attached to all these characters with name. Say this with me. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. This mind, sleeping, dreaming ego, is trying to explain something that it cannot explain, because it is in a dreaming state. So it does not know the real. It's only when you come into the self you can get some word. But because I am still wearing this mind, and most times I can't find words that I'm trying to say, because it is trying not to get my speech on mixed up all the time. It's fighting against me. The mind is. This mind is powerful. Yeah. All right. So I return to I ultimate true state. I bow to I and I in self, light and truth. I am primal lights, prepared for this dream imagination world, taking this form and identity as Auset Aten Ra. All right. I want to thank you so much for joining. Do the I and I have a question, or do I and I want to leave a comment? Also, you can let me know when you were practicing that stillness technique. um, with the mind stillness technique, and with closing your ears, were you able to feel the void rising in your head, or did your mind stop chattering? So you can let me know. Ah, awesome. Thank you, which Master General. The dream says that the dream mind will use your emotions. Yes, that's true. To keep you attached to it and keep you imprisoned within it. The trickster. That's why you have to be vigilant. That is so true. Yeah. So I am glad you felt it when you were practicing. So you see that it works. So the more you practice, the better it will be for you. So yes, and remember to say that I am not this body, I am not this mind, so that this mind can know that you know. Say, I know who I am. Yeah, yeah, I believe in myself. I know who I am. So this mind knows it cannot no longer try to trick you. You're going to stay vigilant. This is the war we are having, is with our mind, and once we can defeat our mind by illuminating ourselves, then we can no longer stay in ignorance. We can be self-sufficient. We can guide and help others so that they too can face the war that you're fighting with your mind, because this is the war, is with the mind, the moon, right? So all right, so I want to thank the Ionize. May all beings know the I self. Thank you so much for joining I. Thank you. So yes, much honor, much honor. And if you have your family, like young, the young human beings, those little human beings, please engage them in stillness, because uh, majority of little human beings, they are the real self, and so they come prepared, wanting to know how to do this. So get them engaged in your stillness session when you are doing this meditation. So I bow to the I and I in self, in light, and in truth. Thank you so much for joining I will see you um, at the next live, which will be next Sunday at 8 p.m. So thank you so much. Bye.